CNN needs to get its you know what out of its you know what, because they're just a bunch of biased, silly people that want to put forward their own bizarre sense of reality that tarnishes Trump. And I'll tell you, the more they do it, the more the American people are just sick of it. I mean, they're now trying to sort of kind of apologize. This is unbelievable. So they got caught, right? They're caught with their pants down because, look, every other report is suggesting something entirely different than what their little intel is telling them. By the way, those reporters didn't actually read the report. No, they're going on sources that allegedly have read the report and then are like spinning something to them. It's all spin. They're not reading anything. They're just regurgitating a bunch of points that somebody wants to deliver. And you don't even know what the bias is of those people that want to deliver, whether they're just anti-Trump, whether they want to drag us into something bigger. We don't know, okay? And so it's, one, illegal for them to leak classified information, and two, for these reporters to just take it, right? Like little lapdogs. Oh, and now we're going to spin this. And then everybody runs wild with it because they just want to hate on Trump. Listen, the markets are telling you something else entirely. Justin, thank you for your generosity. I'm going to get to some of your comments. In the meantime, take a look at that little guy. No, he's not so little. He's just little, but he's not so little. That is their media person. He was like fired by them and then I guess rehired, not to host a show because he clearly can't host a show. Although that hasn't stopped CNN from putting other people on that clearly cannot host shows. Anyway, he's got some little title as their media guru. And I want you to hear him try to apologize, but not apologize because, you know, he's saying, oh no, we didn't really say all that. We didn't try and, you know, dismantle any of it. We're actually, oh, well, we'll let him say it.
There's so much more reporting to do on this topic. This is a very complex matter, even though Trump tried to make it sound simple on Saturday night. It's really important to note what CNN did not report. CNN did not report that this mission was a failure. Far from it. It may have turned out to be a tremendous success. We just don't know all the facts yet, and neither does the U.S. government.
That's a good little spin. Okay, so they're trying to reframe things because you see, they're in more trouble. They're in more trouble. And it's not just that they're in trouble with the administration that doesn't have a whole lot of use for them. They're actually in trouble with their viewers because the viewers are sitting there and they kind of agree with Pete. They're like, yeah, why don't we hear about some of the good stuff ever? Well, you're not going to hear about the good stuff because this particular team of media reporters, one, are lazy, two, have a bias, and three, want to take down Trump. Okay? It's pretty darn simple. But the markets say something else, for goodness sakes. Wow. I mean, we're looking at 4 straight days of increases, okay? The market just keeps flying. So that tells you a lot. Again, you can put all the intel reports aside. What does the media say? You can put that aside. You can just look at where the money's going. And it's going right into U.S. equities. This is, and you know what? More's coming in. So I hope you're in. And if you're not, please do me the favor of going to my company. I'm going to put it here in the chat, 76research.com. Use code word dollar, okay? Use code word dollar because then it's just $1 a month for the first 2 months. And this is my financial research company. We have a lot of great ideas. Actually, we're publishing a new idea for 76 Report, folks, this afternoon. I think that's coming out this afternoon, maybe tomorrow at the latest. But we have another stock idea we want to tell you about. One of the ones that we had put out recently is up 23% and is actually it's actually up more than 23% right now because the market's been so on fire. But since we acknowledged it recently, and we expect that it's going to continue going higher. So you want to be part of this, okay? You want to be part of this. I hope you're part of this. It's a really important time for the economy and for the markets. So again, 76 Research, use code word dollar there today. We have more to get to because Letitia James is out of money. Letitia James is like really losing it. I mean, she's got her own personal troubles, right, that she's up against. But the state of New York is up against quite a bit too. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. But first, quick word on oil because we've got oil prices up a little bit today. You know, I'll tell you this, oil's been coming down rather significantly. Oil's actually been, let me give you the quote on crude right now. It's at $65.50. So up about 0.9%. But I'll tell you, the other day, right? Monday, we were watching it together. It was down 8%. I was like, wow. And then the next day, on Tuesday, it was down another 5.5%. We saw it tick up a little bit yesterday, ticking up a little bit, 0.8% today, because, look, there's still some uncertainties here. And I understand and would expect this. I actually was surprised that it came down so much on Monday and Tuesday. But I think that gives you a certain amount of insight, guys, into, again, what the markets think. And the markets think this was a success. And look, we need oil, right? We need oil. We need oil here. Thank you very much. That's why the drill thing is going over so well. Everybody wants to paint fossil fuels as bad, and that they're the villains. And you get that from the legacy media all the time. But here's the reality. You know what? We've had a heat wave where I am right now in New Hampshire. Thank God for the air conditioner. Right now, that air conditioning, actually, I'm a person who's in good health, et cetera. I don't need to worry about crazy heat, but there are a lot of older folks that do. And if they don't have air conditioning, what happens to them? I mean, that's actually an example of fossil fuels keeping us safe, right? Like, they don't tell you this. Air conditioning keeps you safe. It prevents heat stroke. It actually also helps us in the winter, does it not? Because we would be struggling with extreme cold if we didn't have fossil fuels. They provide low cost power for our storm warning systems, which are kind of important, again, saving lives so that we can have time to evacuate and save our lives. So as much as they want to taint this all as bad and oil and fossil fuels, et cetera, I think you got to always kind of look at the whole picture here. It's a big part of what we try and do here on the Trish Regan Show. And just remember that, it's not all bad, because we wouldn't have been saved from so many really disastrous climate situations, extreme temperatures, drought, floods, storms, wildfires, all of those things, if we didn't have the fossil fuel infrastructure and technology. You can learn more at one of our show sponsor sites, oilfacts.com. This is brought to you by the NASDAQ listed Prairie Operating Company, a high growth, low cost producer of safe and responsible American energy. Go to oilfacts.com. Again, oilfacts.com. You'll learn much more about this. It really, though, is just amazing how they try and twist and turn all of this. 76research.com for more on oil prices and how you play this right now.